Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day so far and thanks for tuning in into this video. In this video, we're going to be going over settings and support. It's a different bit of a video because we're not going to be covering a specific module, but the general settings within Contractor Foreman. So let's get started. We'll head over to the menu at the very top and then head over to settings under settings and support. Over here, we can find a list of all the different general settings within Contractor Foreman, which are divided into three categories. My settings, which are settings privy only to you and how you use Contractor Foreman. System settings, which is for how your company and your organization uses Contractor Foreman. And module settings. These are settings for the individual specific modules within Contractor Foreman. For this video, we won't be covering module settings because information about those settings can be found within the individual training videos. For example, if you'd like to learn more about bills and the bills module settings, check out our bills training video. So let's take a look at some of these settings. Let's head over to My Details, and here we can define and change a few details about ourselves. For example, you can update a user profile photo of yourself. Your first name, last name, and your username are not changeable except by the main Contractor Foreman administrator. If you'd like to change it, please feel free to reach out to your primary account administrator who can change it under directory and finding you under the employees. In addition, you can add in your email, phone, cell, your title if needed, the postal code and the country, and lastly, an email signature, which will automatically be added to any emails you send out via Contractor Foreman as well. If you'd like to add in two-factor authentication, you can when either a new session is detected or it'll ask you every time a new login is required. Lastly, at the very bottom, you can also quickly view your training and certificates and your time off requests associated with yourself. If you have questions about training and certifications and how to start a time off request, you can do so by clicking on Add Certificate or Add Time Off Request. And for more details, check out our directory training video. Secondly, we can check out My Preferences. And here you can change a few different settings for your own Contractor Foreman. For example, you can change the language that Contractor Foreman uses and we have an existing database of a few different languages you can take a look at, including English, which is a default, French, German, Arabic, Hindi, etc. Under Preference Settings, we can take a look at a few other details. If there's already a vehicle added within Contractor Foreman, you can make it your default vehicle. Just so if you ever need to add a vehicle for yourself, it'll be defaulted to whichever vehicle you choose. You can also use custom sort methods for the directory, for example, by last name, by first name, or by phone number, etc. And please note, these settings will only affect your view of Contractor Foreman, not everybody else's within your team. In addition, you can also manage how you receive notifications here. For example, for task notifications, you can set it so it's email, push, or text message, all three, or just if you only prefer, for example, the push notification. In addition, you can also separately manage the notification for messages which are sent via Contractor Foreman, either individual, group chat, project chat, or client chat, and choose to see if you want to be notified or which of these types of messages you'd like to be notified of. In addition, you can also set it so notification to apps get sent out immediately every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. If you don't want your phone buzzing because a group chat is going off and there's constant messages, you can delay the notifications that you get so they only occur once every 10 minutes and you can view them accordingly when you have a moment. And lastly, if you ever need to set in a default expense account or change the time zone associated with your Contractor Foreman account, you can also do so here. So now let's go to System Settings and take a look at cost codes. Cost codes are essentially identifiers used to help you classify and keep track of different specific costs like labor and materials for different parts of a project. They're essentially used for organizing budgets, monitoring expenses, and helping you improve your financial management and reporting of the project. If you'd like to see all the different cost codes within Contractor Foreman within your Contractor Foreman, you can do so here under Cost Codes. In Contractor Foreman, cost codes are identified as parent cost codes and child cost codes. The parent cost code is essentially the group heading of the different cost codes within it. So for example, we can take a look at the very first one, HVAC, and open it up to open up child cost codes and see all the different specific child cost codes under HVAC. For example, if you're performing HVAC, you might have multiple different line items involved in that, including the subcontractor, internal employee site supervision, other costs which might be associated, materials, etc. And you can allocate all of them towards these specific cost codes, which all of these fall under the parent cost code of HVAC. You can filter all the cost codes via active, archived, and all. And you can archive a cost code by going to archive on the right hand side. Please note, you cannot delete cost codes within Contractor Foreman. This is because if the cost code is being used in a different module such as bills or expenses, if you delete the cost code, it could mess up the financial reporting, and therefore we've only enabled archiving project cost codes. In order to edit a parent cost code, we can head over to the cost code and go to Edit, and here we can change the CSI code, the name, or the status if needed. In addition, in order to add a child cost code, we can actually just head over to Add and add the actual cost code. For this one, I'll call the CSI code 23-10, call it makeup air units, and we can also include a workers' comp code if needed, but for now I'll leave it blank and then hit Save. And now if I look under HVAC, I now have a new cost code for makeup air units, which is also available in time cards and can be selected by anybody clocking in into time cards, and you can toggle it by clicking on the check mark if needed. If you'd like to add more cost codes, you can head over to Action and add in a parent cost code or a child cost code if needed. In addition, you can also import cost codes from CSI or NAHB as needed. For example, I'll click on this and click on NAHB, which is great for residential construction, and I now have a list of major child and division cost codes which I can import which are not already inside my Contractor Foreman. And I can do the same for CSI cost codes which are great for commercial construction and add them as required. With that, let's move on from cost codes and look at some of the other system settings over here. We can take a look at custom, and here we can review the custom field values that are entered throughout Contractor Foreman. You can add, archive, delete, or edit them all in this one place. For example, if I'd like to add a specific bank account when I'm working on my expenses, I can do so over here and add Visa 1005 and hit Save. And I now have this additional bank account that I can enter. It's essentially one area where you can review all the custom entries from all the different modules that you've created. And in addition, if you have customized starting numbers or custom status labels for the other modules, you can review all of them over here at once. Just as a reminder, all of this can also be accessed by going to the module settings, which is the gear icon on the top right hand corner when you're in the actual module. In addition, we can also take a look at enable and disable features. If there's certain features in Contractor Foreman that you'd like to save for later and not activate right now, you can simply go ahead and click on disable and simply enable it later on. It's as simple as disabling it, and when you're ready to go, click on enable. The idea is that if you'd like the flexibility to turn off some features for now in case you don't want to take a look at it right now or don't want to enable it, but understand the workflow with only some of the features you have available right now and build onto them later, you just simply don't want them. It's a very simple and easy task to just quickly enable and disable those items as you see fit. In addition, we can also go over and take a look at financial. Here we can review some of the financial settings which are found throughout Contractor Foreman. This includes the currency symbol, if we want to allow online payments, which I'll get into later into this video, the tax format, the default tax rate, which right now I only have of the state tax 5.5%, and that being because this is where I've enabled my tax rate. If you'd like to add in an additional tax rate for there to be another one that you can choose, you can simply go ahead to add tax rate, and I can call this, for example, PST tax, call it 3%, and hit save as well. And I now have an additional tax rate that I can apply. If you'd like to automatically select tax to certain items, so for example, for all material items you'd like to add PST or boat taxes, you can do so here and click them off. And when you're working on any POs, subcontracts, estimates, tax will automatically be applied. And that also includes the subcontract retainage cost code and the invoice retainage cost code if you'd like to customize and set that as default as well. And that also applies for markup. If at your company, for example, you'd always like to have a 10% markup for all materials that you're ordering in your estimate, in your purchase order, etc., you can set your markup defaults over here if you choose to do so. Next up, let's take a look at integrations. Here at Contractor Foreman, we've partnered up with several different softwares to help you integrate more smoothly and improve your workflows within Contractor Foreman. Starting at the very top, we have onebuild.com, which is a great opportunity to build out your cost item database. If you have more questions about OneBuild, feel free to check out our cost item database training video where we go into it. We also have calendar sync settings for Gmail, Outlook, and Outlook 365 if required. We've also partnered up with a third party to provide client financing for home renovation projects above $5,000. If you'd like to look into this and provide that opportunity towards your customers, feel free to check out this video and be able to contact Sweet2Pay who provide that opportunity. We also integrate with CompanyCam, and this is a great opportunity to sync your project photos, and this is especially great for daily logs and being able to sync both your CompanyCam photos and complete your daily logs as required. For payroll, we've also have integration inbuilt for Gusto and ADP, and MarketPath as well to increase your SEO requirements for your business. We also have partnered up with Fundbox in order to help you streamline an opportunity for a business line of credit if needed. And lastly, we also have integration with QuickBooks and with Xero. For QuickBooks integration, there is a process we have built in to help you get set up. I'd highly recommend, if you are interested, to check out the pre-integration webinar. And after following the requirements and getting the documents needed for it, reach out to your customer success manager to help you schedule a specific one-on-one pre-integration session. And once you've reviewed the checklist, in order to streamline a smoother transaction and to help make sure that you have everything you need before we start the integration process. And lastly, like I had mentioned earlier, we do have online payment opportunities with Stripe. If you'd like to provide your customers with an online payment opportunity, feel free to check out this area here via Stripe and to be able to provide that as well. Next up, let's take a look at notifications. Here you can manage the different tasks which are being created, edited, assigned, or completed, and manage who is or how the notifications are being sent out. For example, when a daily log is created, we can simply check and enable how the different notification for when a daily log is created is being sent out by. For example, we have email, text, SMS, or push, which means through the Contractor Foreman app on your phone, and we can simply enable or disable if needed. And this includes a number of different opportunities for us to set those notifications, such as when an estimate is created, when an expense is created, when an inspection is assigned, etc. And it will be sent out to the person who it's assigned to or it's supposed to be completed by. In addition, we can also take a look at roles. In Contractor Foreman, as you enable access to other people and to your employees to get access to Contractor Foreman, you can provide certain roles for them, such as admin or main, office support, laborer, or add in additional roles if needed. If you'd like to view what those roles are able to do, we can simply go, for example, to supervisor, go to the right-hand side and click on edit. And here we can take a look at all the different modules that are available and view if they have no access, full access to all data, full access to own data, or read-only. The difference between the two full access is full access all data means that they're able to view and edit all the data within the module, and own data means they're able to view and edit data that only they create. So for example, if for the supervisor, we would like to give them access to the crew schedule module, we can go ahead and simply click on full access all data. If we'd like to let them read only on the document writer, we can simply go to document writer and read only. This is a great way for you to manage and ensure that you're allowing your employees, contractors, customers, or whoever you're giving access to Contractor Foreman the correct view that you want to give them. One last thing I want to share is if we go back to the very top under menu, we can head over to support, and this opens our Contractor Foreman Knowledge Base. Here at Contractor Foreman, we understand that training is very important, and we've written hundreds of different articles and have a video created, such as the video that you're watching right now, for each one of our modules. Our articles cover the answers to frequently asked questions from our customers, as well as some best tips and practices on how to use Contractor Foreman. I'd highly encourage to take a look at this knowledge base when you're looking for an answer to one of your questions, and take a look through to better understand how these modules interact with one another, what some of the fields mean inside them, and how to get the most out of your Contractor Foreman account. Thanks for listening. If you need help or have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us by the live chat or send us an email at support@contractorforeman.com. And if you'd like to have any more in-depth training, make sure to book a session on our training page. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.